Picked up my mail today, and look what came in. My PCGS order. Hey everybody, it's Rob with RobFindsTreasure, and that's right, we got our PCGS order that came in. You always know it's from PCGS when it's got that CU or Collector's Universe sender ID on there, and of course they did a good job of insuring it, taping it up. I had to sign for it. You cannot get mad at that. Let me get it out of this box, and we'll take the next step. I will tell you that some of the coins in here were found from my coin roll hunting adventures. Some were found from junk silver purchases, and others just from other various sources over the last couple years. So let's get in the box and see what we got. As expected, we got our PCGS plastic box that holds the graded or holdered coins, and it's ready to rock and roll. Just wanted to show you that. I will have to open this up and pull out the invoice, and I'll try to do so without seeing any of the end slabbed coins, because what I would like to do is set it up reverse facing so that I can pull the coins out one at a time, see the back of it, remember what it was, talk about it, provide you any additional information, and then flip it over and reveal the grade, and if we got the variety designation, should it be a variety that I submitted. So hoping to do that. Let me get that set up and try not to see any of the end slabbed coins. That way we get an authentic reveal. It was tough not checking the grades on these, but it only took 10 days from the time my grades were emailed to me and the time I received this box. So whenever I get those emails, you get an email that your orders arrived, an email that your grades are ready, and then an email that it ships. Don't open the email that the grades are ready, because you don't want to see the grades like I saw them the first time. All right, we got a lot of coins in here, 10 of them. Let's start taking a look. All right, we've got the top off, the invoice out. I think I said 10 coins in the previous clip. There is 9. I double checked my order and it is 9. That being said, we're gonna kick it off and hope that they're all reverse facing. Yeah. We'll kick it off with this coin first, and give me a second and I'll bring in why I submitted it. All right, well, I debated about setting up the tripod so I could have both hands free, but I didn't like the way that the lights were catching it. So in order to just move on, we're gonna go ahead and just do this with the free hands. So I have about 6 cents that I have found over the course of my hunts that when I studied them under the scope, I realized that they probably were good candidates to be coins that were struck on an unplated zinc planchet. Now, there's a lot of coins out there that are artificially done through chemicals and whatnot, but this is one of the best examples that I had that when I looked at it, I thought, you know what, man? It's gotta be the real deal. So I decided to submit it. I kept the other 5 coins aside to get an idea to compare it to if this one scored legit. So I'm thinking I may have got myself an unplated penny struck on a zinc planchet. Let's see what the grade is. Let's see if they gave me the variety attribution. Bingo bango. 1994 Philadelphia Mint Air PCGS MS62, of course, struck on unplated zinc planchet. You cannot get mad at that. Now, the reason why I thought this was a good candidate is I looked at it under the scope. It had great detail. There was no bubbling. There was no distortion in the fields. There was no distortion on the high points. It looked to me like it had not been treated whatsoever, and I was really certain that I'd get a proper Mint Air designation, so I submitted it, and we did. As far as value, I'm not familiar with the value on these. I mean, they kind of go anywhere between 50 and 250 bucks, depending upon what coin it is and how beautiful the zinc looks without the plating. This one's been in circulation for a little bit, which is why I got an MS62. And the eye appeal, while it's cool, is not the greatest. So this would probably be on the lower end. I would say probably in the $100 range. I could be wrong. If somebody thinks it's worth more, let me know. But I'm happy to get a MS62 struck on unplated zinc planchet Mint Air on this coin. What a dandy. Before I go, I guess I better mention that yes, I did check it for the 1994 DDR, because if it had been a DDR and struck on a zinc planchet, that would have been awesome. We're 1 for 1. That's a good start. We'll add that to my collection. All right, next up we have 2 quarters here. So a quick story. In my coin roll hunts, and I have the dates for either of these quarters. I don't know which one's which yet, but both of these quarters were very, very, very nice quarters. And I decided to do some modern grading on some really nicely struck 70s and 80s quarters. One will be a 71D and one will be an 82D. The 82D in high grades is definitely worth its weight, and the 71D needs to be very, very high. When I grabbed these 2 quarters, I looked at them and thought, man, these are at least MS66, maybe 67, and possibly 68. But I had never submitted a modern clad quarter, so I was uncertain as to whether or not it would grade that high. So part of this was an experiment for both of these. There's another part of the experiment that I will talk about depending on which coin this is. If it's the 1982D, then that is a coin that I actually used MS70 on to touch it up to see if it would be detected. Now, I don't recommend using it on coins you're submitting for grading, but I wanted to see if I could apply it properly per the instructions on a coin that had some fingerprints on it to see if it would be detected and alter the grading. We don't have a clean designation on the back, so that tells me it's not just an authentic coin, that it received a grade. So that's a good sign, and same with that one. So it looks like the MS70 did not play a part as far as affecting the grade for it being graded or not. That being said, let's flip it around and see what coin it is and what the grade is. Okay, this is the 82D, and this is the one I used MS70 on. And in 1982 and 1983, the mint did not put out uncirculated sets, so it's hard to find 82 and 83 D and P coins in high grade. We did get the minimum grade that I thought it was, MS66. I'll be honest, I was praying for a 67 on this one, but I'll take a 66. As far as the value on this, it's probably less than 50 bucks, and we spent $30 to grade it. So I probably broke even on the deal, but you never know if you'll get that higher grade. Had we got a 67, it'd be worth more than I spent. And if we had got higher than that, it'd be worth a tiny fortune being an 82D. Either way, MS66, 1982D, and I used MS70 on it. I will take it. And I'll have a link to the hunt date on this coin because I remember the exact video because I labeled the flip with the coin roll hunting date. So I should be able to find the video on this one, and I will link all the videos to coins that I have the hunt date on either down below or up here or maybe both. Either way, I'll take an MS66 1982D clad quarter. Next up will be the 1971D clad quarter then. And again, nothing was done with this one. This one was found as is. So hopefully we scored MS66 or higher on this one. That is what I put it in for. Let's see what we got. We got MS66, and honestly, I thought for sure this one might get a 67. This was the better of the two, but we didn't get one. 1971D, and definitely probably didn't get back the fees for grading it. But like I said, I had to find out if I can get an MS67 found in circulation. I do have a date for this hunt on the flip. So this one, I should have the video where I found it, and I will link that below or above as well. And I'll take it. It is what it is. Man, I was really hoping for a 67 on this one, but MS66 is not a shabby grade whatsoever. 71D, there's probably a lot in the MS66 range, and I will take a peek at the end of this video and give you guys an idea, but I don't want to bring up the certification number and see any of the other grades that I haven't looked at yet. Either way, MS66, 1971D, we hoped for a 67. We didn't get it. Next up is a clad half dollar, and the only clad half dollar I submitted on this order was a 1972D no FG. I have several examples of 72D no FGs. This was, oops, I almost looked. This was the best example I had, and I'm very picky on submitting 72D no FGs. There are several that I have seen over my hunts that have some remnants of the FG. This one almost had none. It has the very least amount of raised elements where the FG, the designer's initials, would be. And those are found right under this leg wing above the tail feathers. This was my best example. So I wanted to submit it to see if I'd get a grade. The 72D no FG is a very valuable clad half dollar if you can get it variety attributed and graded. Hopefully, if I recall, I thought this one was at least an MS60 or better, and I thought it was my best example, so I was hoping to get the variety attribution. Let's flip it and see. Bam! MS62, of course, better than I thought, but I would have nice to get a 63. No FG, FS 901, 1972D. Wow. So I'm pretty excited about this one because I believe in mint state condition of 62. There's not that many graded higher. If I recall, there's only a handful in the 63 and 64 range because these are so heavily circulated and hunted that people just ding them around. This was a pretty nice one, like I said. MS62, I'll take it. There might only be a handful graded higher. And I'm assuming that the value on this is north of 500. I declared $500 value because I was thinking it was MS60 something, but MS62, this might be closer to $600-700 in value. Wow, what a find. Once again, I would have normally liked to link the video that I found this in, but the flip that I had did not have the date on it, so I don't know which hunt it's from, but it's definitely one I found during one of my hunts. I'll take it. 1972D, PCGS, MS62, no FG, FS 901. Beautiful. Next up is a silver half dollar, and I actually submitted two of those. So I don't know which one this is. They're both 1964 Denver. One is the quadrupled die obverse and one is the tripled die obverse, and I don't know which one is which. So that being said, we'll go in order of the way it was packaged and kick it off with this one first. All right, I looked at my invoice and the way it was packaged, according to how they're panning out, this one should be the QDO, but let's just double check to see if I got the QDO FS 105 designation and what grade I got. I wrote a note to myself that I figured this one was MS 60 to 63 based on the condition. Let's pray I got the QDO, which I'm pretty sure I did, and let's pray I got a good grade. They're loving the PCGS MS 62 grade, but it is a 64D QDO FS 105. What a stunner. If you haven't seen the video that I hunted this in and found it, I'll put a link to that down below or above here once again. And man, I'm happy to have it. MS62 QDO. Not a ton of value in this grade, but a confirmed variety that I found through a junk silver purchase. Can't get mad at that. What a beauty. That must mean that this one is the TDO. So let's get right to it. Very nice. PCGS MS65. I had written down that I thought this was 63 or higher, and we did get an MS65 tripled die obverse FS 103. What a beauty, by the way. I have a link to this coin's discovery, if you will, again down below or above, and I did write it on the flip. You can see my flips right here. Some of them have the dates, and a few did not have the date, so I didn't know, and some were not really found during hunts. They were found during other times that I did not know when I acquired the coin, and I have no way of showing it. But either way, an MS65 TDO, I'm not 100% sure on the value of this, probably $100, but still a fine grade on a variety. Beautiful. Next up, Lincoln sent. So this is going to be the 1994 P DDR FS 801. You'll recall in my first PCGS unboxing, I submitted a coin for T-Wolf Coin Hunter, the exact same coin, and it got Top Pop MS67. I found one of my own, and I'll have a link to that hunt, of course, down below or above. And I knew it was not an MS67. I was praying for at least a 64. I thought it was a 65 or a 66 personally. It's a beautiful scent. Let's see what we got. Oh, 64. So there's a big price jump from 64 to 65, from 65 to 66, and of course 66 to 67. We got the lower end of what I was hoping for. So I believe this is like a $100 coin. Not the best grade on it, but you know what? We'll take it. It did have a few imperfections. I was hoping that I'd at least get that 65. We did not. But another confirmed variety, and this time, this one is mine. I don't have to send it back out. Very nice. Second to the last coin, and this is going to be the beautiful 1 dime. It is a Carson City minted dime, as you can see. And this coin is a variety that I had found. It is the doubled die obverse. It has the high C on the right. Some of the best examples that I've seen on this are only graded in the high XF range, maybe a low AU out there, and most of them are in the VF or less grade. Two things. I submitted this in hopes that it wasn't cleaned, and I don't see the cleaning details here, so it must have got a legit grade with no cleaning whatsoever. So that's good. And I was hoping for at least a VF30, but honestly, I thought this was in the XF range. Let's see what kind of grade we got. I'll take it. 1876 CC, PCGS XF40, DDO FS102, right C high. Can't get mad at that. It's a beauty. Matter of fact, I believe it's one of the highest graded coins. And again, at the end of me filming all these, I'll insert a clip covering this certificate and submission number on all these coins. That way you can see what kind of population they got as far as their counterparts in grading. Wow. No clean details. XF40. Can't get mad at that. The final coin is a Morgan dollar, and this is a 19030, and I thought it was fantastic. Matter of fact, if you saw my Instagram post, I posted a picture. I picked up a set of, I think, 1898 through 1904 O's, and I bought the set because I looked at this coin, and this coin in particular caught my eye because not only is it a better date and more valuable, it is one that I wanted to submit for grading based on what I saw in that set or that collection. So I spent most of the money on this coin, probably about $350 worth on this one coin alone in that collection. So I needed this one to grade at least AU just to break even on the coin. But I thought, man, this is a stunner. It's at least a 64 or 65, and I'm hoping we receive that grade. Let's see what we got on it and hope that I got 64 or north. MS64. I'll take it. Man, it would have been nice to get a 65 on it, but I believe the MS64 is somewhere between the $600 and $700 range. So I definitely got my money of what I paid on this coin, and it is a beauty. 19030 MS64. Pretty successful submission. No cleaning grades in here at all. Everything graded about where I thought. Some a little lower, some a little higher. So I'm pretty happy with what I got. Now let me bring up the certificate number and let's see the population report on some of these more valuable ones and get an idea of where they fall in the population for grades. So on the screen, I have my order details. We'll kick it off first since it's in order of this 1903. And when I click on it, it will give you all the information that you need. There's 4.45 million minted. There's 5,145 graded coins. There are many, many higher. Many, many higher. So at the end of the day, my coin, okay, so it's $500. A little bit less than I thought. but still, like I said, I probably paid about $3.50 for the coin plus $35 in grading fees. I'll take it. A lot were higher. Had I got 65, and if I click this up here, I can scroll down, and 65 would have been $675 in value, would have been better. So a lot of them are graded in the MS64 range, and judging by recent sales, looks like they're selling right around the $450 to $500 range. We'll take that. Not the best grade on it, like I said, but I will take an MS64 all day. Next up is that dime from Carson City. Let's take a quick peek at that certificate number. And right here, we have 3 graded in my grade and only 4 higher. I will take that. You can't get mad. It doesn't give a value here because it's a variety, but if I click on, actually I'll click on the actual number. You can see that the one listed is an VF35 and mine's an XF40. So the one that's on the front page, mine's a better grade then. But judging by the recent sale of it, 312 at VF30, I would say mine's north of 500 being XF40. What a score. For sake of time, we will go ahead and forego some of these other ones. I do want to see what the value is on this 72D no FG. So we'll click on that one and look at that. Total of 10 in the population that were graded and 9 higher. Value for that clad Kennedy half dollar, $650. Unbelievable. Let's click on the variety example here. So mine got an MS62 right there. There's 6 at MS63, 2 at MS64, and 1 at MS64 Plus. None finer than MS64 Plus graded by PCGS. I'll take it. You know what? For a clad half dollar and the value is $650, that's why I always check for varieties in my half dollars, because there's some dandies out there. For sake of time, I won't go through the rest of these. You guys can do that kind of research on your own if you'd like. But either way, I'm pretty happy with a pretty successful PCGS submission. Hopefully you enjoyed this PCGS unboxing video. If you did, I'd appreciate a thumbs up. And as always, everyone, happy hunting, and thanks for watching.